Hello everyone and welcome to my page Messages from Venus. So this is going to be a video about how I use my cards and which cards I use for spell work. I keep the cards that I use for spell work separate for the cards that I use for divination. Disclaimer, the phone is ringing a lot in my house and you're going to hear a lot of people talking and shouting in my house because I'm recording. But you hear everything here. So I want to give you guys a little bit of information of why I use these cards specifically and how I use the cards specifically. But before letting you guys know that, I want to let you guys know a little bit of a story and why I decide to keep my cards separate. Some people feel comfortable with keeping their cards together. So if they have a deck of cards, like for example, the Osho Zen, I'm going to just keep, just an example because it's right next to me. Let's say you have the Osho Zen tarot deck. This is a deck and you use it for readings, and let's say then you use it to create a spell or do a spell or for intention. To me, if I use it for a reading for another client and then I use it for an intention, it might switch the energies of what the person is trying to manifest and what I just read for them. I feel like it has some sort of attachment to the universe because of the intention and the energies that I'm using and the elements that I'm using to create the intention. I don't want those intentions to be attached to the same cards that I use for my readings. However, me using cards is perfect because the cards for spell work, the cards have their own imagery, the cards have their own intention, their own meaning, and it's easy for me to manipulate the energies that are around using the cards. It's the same time or the same thing that you do when getting a reading. When you're getting a reading, you get a reading, and depending on what you decide after you receive that reading depends on the outcome or what happens, because you have control. I always like to tell people or tell my clients, if I ever do get a chance to be in this sort of conversation with them, or if I'm going to do a spell work for them or whatever the situation is. Once you take the initiative to get yourself a reading, you become God, because now the choice is in your hands and you're not waiting for anybody to do for you. You're not waiting for karma. You're not waiting for time, which doesn't stop for anybody, but you're still not going to wait for that bitch. So therefore, you become God. You have control of it all, and you decide whether you want to go forward or not. Now, the cards are the same thing. The cards are a tool to divine. The cards are also a tool to set your intention, to receive information, whether that's from your spirits, from your guides, your angels, ancestors, or within yourself. They all have the ability to do that, of course, via the person who's giving you the reading. Now, how I realized or learned that, according to me and in what's best for my practice, not to say that everybody should do this, get a drink of water. Not to say that everybody should do this, but in my practice, it serves me much, much better to keep my cards separate. When I was learning to divine, I had purchased a few cards and I was just infatuated with artwork, and it was something new for me, but I was still going to the church. I was dealing with people that were supposed to be my mentors and led me astray for way too long. So and this is the time when I used to give readings in the street for people, I realized that the people that were supposed to be mentoring me had, I guess you can say, they hexed the cards, or they consecrated the cards with energies of spirits. If you guys didn't know, you guys can always give your spirits a home via your cards. You can put their energies in here and have them communicate with you via here, or have them give other people readings via the cards. This is very possible. Just like you can take any item, you can take, where I keep my phone case, my pencil, I don't know, a jar, which is where I keep my spirits in bowls or in jars. You can do the same with your cards. Okay, so I realized that when I used to give readings, not because I don't give accurate readings, because I still give accurate readings, and even though I don't use my cards to store my spirits, I just use them to store energy and intention that don't have anything to do with a specific entity. I used to shuffle my cards. Okay, so boom, I'm shuffling my cards, and the card would just either slide off and like turn itself. And I feel like nobody would ever notice that except for me. It would do one of these and it would just turn itself over. And I knew that it was by the invisible hand. I'm going to just say. Once I realized that, and the more and more I started studying alchemy, I realized that I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to speak to these people anymore. I didn't want to give readings anymore for a while. This is before YouTube. This is before my website, whatever. So I don't want to do it because I felt like I was lying to people, and I wanted to be more confident within myself. That it wasn't just, you know, these entities giving readings and I'm sitting here like Bozo the damn clown and it wasn't me. I wanted to make sure that it was me, that I was learning, that I was obtaining information. So what I did was that I returned to the bitch's house, and I left all my cards and all of my spiritual belongings at the time at her house. And I left those energies there. Not because I don't work with malevolent spirits or because I'm scared of them, but because at the time I was being influenced by something I didn't know what the fuck it was, or who gave it permission to come into my life. I felt more in fear than in control of my own spiritual practice. So for those of you that are interested, you guys can always do that. I'm sure you guys can find rituals or use the Ouija board to consecrate your cards with the spirits and give them a home that way. And this way you can, you know, feed them in different ways. I'm not quite sure, maybe with incense, powders you guys can use, as opposed to as opposed to giving them offerings like oils and stuff like that. You can use the cards, and then this way you don't have to have a bowl or a statue, or be afraid that somebody's going to touch your bowl where all your things are. You know that it's always in hands. You guys can keep it in a little bag. I keep all my spell work cards in this bag, and this way it's safe. But yeah, those are ways you can use your cards besides divination. So I'm gonna start off with plain cards. Plain cards are convenient because they're small. They have the Lenormand system within them as well, so you guys can use Lenormand to divine as well. For spell work, they're amazing because, again, they're small and they're easy to disguise themselves. So each card, just like the Rider-Waite-Smith, has an association. Not just the meaning of the cards, not just the Lenormand. These are my practice card decks. This was like my first deck that I purchased after the whole incident, and I wanted to retouch on my magic. So now I keep it just for spell work. So each card has their own correspondences. So the meaning of the cards, the Lenormands, and then the associations of the elements within the card. Like I mentioned to you before, you can use that to you can use the elements or whatever association to create the environment that you want. For example, if you move into a new home and you don't want to leave crystals around, because people, as soon as they see crystals, are like, all right, well, she's into the metaphysical or the esoteric arts. If they see playing cards, they're just going to think that you lost a playing card, you know? You can put it under the couches and use the elements within the direction of a compass, east, west, north, south, to create a certain protection or barrier with your cards. I do that now, and it works very well for me when it comes to protection of my home or my physical car or myself. I can walk around with these and use them as protection. Or certain of these cards, pull a few of those cards that mean protection or that represent protection to me, keep them in my bag, and I'm good to go. Now, if you are doing spell work with candles, you can use one of the cards and allow the candle to burn on top of the card, or put it under the plate as opposed to writing an extensive letter to the universe. These are real easy form of divination. You can also burn these in your cauldron or outside, do a ritual, burn it, and that will be your intention. And the fact that you're using the fire element, it will send the message or the connection to the universe, or the vibration or the frequency to the universe, much faster than using, I don't know, water or whatever other elements you want to use. So they're easy to camouflage. Let's see, another reason why they're easy to use. I'm just going to show you guys, just in case you guys don't know. I don't know. I think that's it. If I think of anything else while I'm presenting the other cards, I'll let you guys know. So, yes. Those were the playing cards. Now you have the typical Rider-Waite-Smith. I used to use the, what was it? What was the name of this deck? Let's see. This is the, I'll tell you guys, the Tarot of the Ages. I used this like about twice for spell work, and this deck is now on for sale. It's on for in my website. The link to my website is listed below. But I used to use it, meaning not the Rider-Waite-Smith, but the Tarot of the Ages. I used to use it because it had a variety of different people, different ages in the cards, or the depiction of the cards. It also had the Kabbalah, numerology. It had symbolism in it. It also has numerology. It uses astrology on the cards. So it's great for energy fields, but I feel like this deck just doesn't connect to spell work as much as I wanted to anymore, and I'm not going to use it for readings. I've already cleansed it so that whoever purchases this deck is not going to feel, it's going to feel brand new. It's because I re-cleansed it and took all that energy out. So yeah, I don't want to use it to read for people because I used it for spell work. So for those of you that want it, it's listed on my shop. I'll make a separate video as to the cards that are on my shop that are either up for sale or for trade. Now the Rider-Waite-Smith is an amazing deck to use. This one came with a spell book itself. I did like a 60-second first impressions of it on my Instagram page. I'm drinking water. So I did a 60-second first impressions of the cards and the book that it came in. The Rider-Waite-Smith is amazing because it's easy to read. It has people in it if you want to manipulate a few people. Not that your other cards or your playing cards don't have, but it has specific imagery of people. I feel like the playing cards are a little dull, but these cards have specific attributes and symbolisms to them that will probably have a better effect or a greater effect on your spell than your playing cards. And it also has color, which is important as well. What is another reason? I also feel like the Rider-Waite-Smith, unlike your playing cards, it has movement. So for example, let's say you have the Seven of Swords, which is this card right here. You have the Seven of Swords, you have the Six of Pentacles, and you have the Ace of Wands. So you want to give somebody their karma, right? So you want to do a spell work to send back to sender. These three cards together will be perfect because the person who either did you dirty or tried to be malicious will receive back the same amount of workings or same amount of creativity or the same amount of fire or the same amount of energy right back to them. So these would be three cards that depict exactly that. They have a greater depiction, and I feel like the Rider-Waite-Smith has a very good connection with the human experience and the Matrix and where we live today. I have a video about the tarot cards in the Matrix, which I will leave the link to that video in the description box so that you guys can see it. if interested. So yeah, I feel like the Rider-Waite-Smith is very convenient for that. It's great for visualization as well. If you don't want to write a extensive letter to the universe, the cards are wonderful to use. I really love using cards. I don't like to put intentions. I like using cards and symbolism for spell work. I feel like it works better for me. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Oh, as for the Rider-Waite-Smith, let's say if you shuffle the cards and you want to just allow the cards to do the talking for you, like let's say, okay, what's gonna be my day for tomorrow? You shuffle the cards, boom, 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 and you want to do a spell work for clarity for the next day. So now you have the World, the Two of Cups, and the Three of Swords. And you have the Hierophant. So tomorrow is going to be a day where I'm going to feel complete in my relationships, but I'm still going to feel a little disappointed when it comes to the responsibilities. You have the Nine of Wands of relationships. So now you know that your day is going to be like this tomorrow. This might as well be my day tomorrow. Who knows? And you want to form some sort of clarity. So you use other cards, for example, Victory, on creativity and working together and my attachments. And so you use separate cards such as the Six of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, and the Devil card to manifest the opposite of what these cards are giving you. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that you can do with cards when you're doing spell work. It's amazing, actually. So that was that for the Rider-Waite-Smith. Now I have the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, and this deck was trimmed, edged, and cornered. It looked like this. It had like that golden or like brown, darkish brown on the sides. This deck is great for visualization. It's straightforward. It has a lot of color and numerology in it, which associate with the message. I feel like Oracle cards are great if you want to do not the 7-day workings, but I feel like the Oracle is good for the taper candles like this. Whoa, brain fart. So the taper candle spells you want to use, you can use these. If you don't have a cauldron, or you can't use a cauldron, or you don't want to use a cauldron, and you have cards, these are amazing for fast results in your spell work, etc., etc. Like I said, I don't like to write too much. If I have cards, that's what it is. You know, that's my message. Like, okay, so my message is I want to cleanse my house, cleaning house, boom, white candle on top, bam, job done, you know? And like I said, it's great for visualization. If you're one of those people that likes to visualize as opposed to burning candles, or likes to meditate and that's how you create your world, these are great for meditation. So, and they're ridiculously accurate as well. They're amazing. So I use this for spell work as well. Easy does it. Then I have angel cards that I use for spells as well. Angels can be used for spell work as well, but they're used more in a way where how I use them is where it's more of like a depending on the spirit of the person. So for the most part, I like to use my Rider-Waite-Smith and of course my playing cards. Those are the ones that I use the most, actually. Now the angel cards, I use them depending if the person works with angels, if the person is in tune with their ancestors, if the person already uses divination or has already used divination, because the angelic realm is very extensive. This deck is called Accent Angel by Tony Carmine Salerno, and it's very to the point. It has the name of the angel, it has the very colorful depiction symbolism on it, and it also has the one words at the bottom. I was going to sell this deck once, and then I just, you know, refrained from that because they told me that it would be good for spell work. So yes, the angelic realm is very extensive and it's great for connecting with that. But I feel like the person that you're doing the spell work for has to be ready for that. These cards are a little messed up and they're, you know, bended. They're like burnt, some of them, because I wrapped these cards around the 7-day candles when using them, and so that they can take the frequency within the candle. One day I will do a video of spell work. Like, I'm talking about the angels right now and I'm getting extremely hot. I mean, I have my fan on, but I'm getting extremely hot because as soon as I start working with this deck specifically, which I have infused with their energy, consecrated with their energy and their symbolism, they automatically are in tune with me. I mean, hot. So, yes. Very powerful and fast results when working with angels. I know a lot of people don't like to work with them because there's been a few angel deck creators that have created the decks or have portrayed angels to be fluffy. And it's not just the well-known names. There's also, you know, people that create their own decks, and sometimes they like to depict the angels as people and that they're all fluffy and they don't do anything wrong. Yeah. No, that's not even how they work. Then the last deck that I recently added to my deck to work with spell work is, this is the, oh my goodness, what is the name of this deck? This is the Sex deck, Spicing Up Your Love Life. I originally purchased this deck to spice up my love life and to use in sex magic. This is the deck. But I then decided that I used this deck, I don't know, like once to manifest. And it was for myself. It was with myself. And I was using it to visualize. So I visualized the position and then I, you know, worked with myself. Now, I don't remember ever using this deck with anybody. I mean, I might have. I don't know. But this deck is great because not only does it show you the position, but it tells you in the back how to achieve the position, why is it good for the man, why is it good for the woman, and how to be cautious. Now, why would I use this in a spell work? Well, there's people that want to attract certain sexual partners for certain things for themselves. For example, if you are a street worker or a prostitute, whatever you want to call yourself, you're in the sex industry. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but if you're in the sex industry, it would be good if you guys practice sex magic, so you guys can take energy from people and then give it back, so that you don't just get bombarded with all these energies from all these people that you're working with. So, for example, I'm going to just use this card. This is number 38. This is the backwards wheelbarrow. This is how it looks. Why is it good for men? Penetration is deep and you get a great view of your partner's most intimate areas. So, if you're a man, if I'm doing a spell work for a man and the person wants to control their partner, I mean, not control their partner. Let's see, that's not a good example. If the person wants to get to know something or wants their partner to reveal something about them that they already think the person is doing. So, for example, if the man thinks the person that they're dating or is with is into witchcraft and they just want their partner to reveal that to them, I would use this card to give the energy of intimacy, number one, confidence, trust, and also to reveal the most intimate parts of that person, etc. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys understand. So I just got the idea of that. I need somebody to like want spell work so that I can like sex spell work or like control spell work so that I can use this deck for them or on their spell work. I don't have an option for spell work in my shop as of yet. I'm going to wait until Mercury goes direct, but I can't wait to use this deck for spell work for somebody. And I feel like I think I'm going to use it to play with my partner as well. That I can definitely do. Yes. So, yeah. This is good. And this deck is also good for people to learn about themselves and visualize, you know, not to be boring in the bed. It's a great deck. Cost me like $1. Right on eBay, girl bomb. All right, so those are my cards, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next video. Toodaloo. Bye.